And here we go again. Today I'd like to take a quick look at defragging a computer and why we need to do defragging. Let's give it its full title straight away, which is defragment. And obviously the word fragment is the ominous word here. If we have a look at a quick graph that I've drawn, here we have a typical layout of a hard drive. This is not data correct or anything like that, it's just a quick idea of what goes on. Okay, so we have our operating system occupying the first bit of the drive, and then we have program 1, program 2, program 3, program 4. It looks all very neat and tidy, which is what we want, neat and tidy drives. But then after a few days of use, or a few weeks, or a few months, with Microsoft, a few hours of use, then you'll see here that program 1 decided it had a little update. So it deleted the files it needed to update and copied new files at the end, the only free space available. And as you can see, that's frag. What it does, it puts a start and end flag, but it moves the end flag now to start again in this next space, so it's being flagged all the time as being a different place. Let's take a look at a further progression. Okay, we've done the operating system, and now program 1 has had its update, which has moved there. Now program 3's had an update, and it's moved its little bit of information it needed to the end there. So we now have these little chunks appearing in the drive. And if we move on yet again, we see that program 2's had an update. Now the next bit of room that was available, big enough to hold the update information, was in the middle of program 3. And this goes on time and time again until such time as it's necessary to really put it back the way it is. So this is a very fragmented drive, and we need to run a program to make sure all that information is neat and tidy on the drive, so then put it back pretty much like we have here. So what do we do? How can we go about doing that? We can download a program from the web. This is a program from AUS Logics, which I'll click on the file and we'll see if we can get it running. Not the fastest program in the world, but also not the slowest either. So here we are. This is the one. This is AUS Logics, AUS Logic I should think it is. And we shall click to install. It's not the fastest thing in the moon. Do I want to use, so see, this is what you've got to watch on some of these, the surreptitious additional programs. Install AUS Logic, boost speed and discover what's making your PC slow. There's no need to. Simple as that, unless you particularly want to. So there we go. Driver updater. I don't want it to update drivers. I just wanted to put the defrag on. No, I don't want to set Yahoo as my home page either. This is another annoyance, and this is probably the reason not a lot of people get this sort of software. All I want to do is disk defrag, which we shall do quite happily once it's loaded. There are other programs around, I might add, that will do defragging. Windows itself has a defrag built in, although I don't find it particularly good. Anyway, that's the installation done. I don't want anything at all other than what we have here. If I look at the C drive, the colours there are showing the way the drive is. Now you can see most of the C drive is pretty clean, but it's got these little bits where it's been updated when it's, you know, done bits and pieces. It's had temporary files added and removed, etc. Let's have a look at junk dump. Again, we can see the general format in green where all the files have been together. And web stuff, I always keep that tidy. In fact, that's the one I practiced on. So let's have a look at junk dump. Let's see. I don't know how long this is going to take, but if it takes too long, I'll cut a bit out. So we shall right, as you can see, there's a new version available. Get an update, which I don't particularly want to do. I just we'll see how things are going. So we just watch this for a moment. It's quite interesting to watch, because it actually shows you movement that's going on here. Now, because I have links between C drive and my junk dump as it is, which I have a lot of programs on, it also does a little bit on C drive, which we'll go back to currently and see how that looks. So there's 44 seconds gone by, 46, 8 seconds gone by. Be nearly a minute that's gone by, and it's busy doing it. It's moving the various blocks around, putting the files back together again. They were the way they were pretty much originally when I first installed them. If you install a file, it puts it on a continual line. Most programs today, when they're programmed, will check to see how much disk space is available on the drive. They do that as a precursor for installation, but then they'll allocate a certain amount of space for the program to go on. Once this space is allocated, it puts the whole program there, so there's no fragmentation of the files on the initial installation, which is great because that's the way we want to keep the computer nice and clean. Okay, so we've done 802 out of 3000. This is going to take maybe a few minutes to run properly. It's sort of finished. It's finished doing the defragmentation of the junk dump. Now it's moving on to C drive. This is the one where my Windows operating system is, so this may take a moment or two longer. However, with operating system, I think Windows 10 certainly defragments quite regularly on its own program that's built into it, and it doesn't get heavily fragmented. However, it does mean that if there is any fragmentation of your files there at all, then it's going to slow your computer down, albeit microseconds or milliseconds, just a small length of time. But over a period of a day, if you're using your computer for a period of time, that time will mount up quite significantly. I couldn't give you any figures on time spent, etc. I will point out while it's doing my C drive, if you have an SSD drive, don't defrag it. I think SSD drives have got a lifetime of about 30,000 write procedures onto the drive. So you can write to it 30,000 times, and then it'll start playing up and start to die eventually. They haven't got the longest life cycle in the world. If you've got a standard drive, the ones that are normally fitted on the computer, unless you particularly ask for an SSD drive, then you go ahead and do the defragging. It's this particular one, it's now good way through. It's 49% certainly, and I shall cut another chunk out shortly so that you can see the finished picture, so to speak. So here we are back again. It's done 91% of the defrag process, and it's taken just over 10 minutes. It's 10.5 minutes almost to do this. So it's not the fastest process, but again, you only have to do this once every now and again. Just going through here, the little color codes here. The grey is free space. The green one is not fragmented, so it doesn't need moving. MFT, I believe that stands for Managed File Transfer, which is sort of in process. The grey spots like this one, these row here, and other ones intermingled, those are probably operating system files, and they're unmovable. You can't move them from where they are. The yellow ones are being processed at the moment, so there we go. And fragmented file. There's still one fragmented file there. Don't know why that is, but there we are. That's finished. Let's just have a look. So we've got my web stuff drive. That's nicely finished. A few unmovable files. The junk dump. These are all defragmented files. As you can see, it looks a lot better than when we first went in there. And you can actually set things up. Let's have a look. So action, analyze the selected. Let's have a look at there we go. It'll analyze those. That is telling me what? The selection, incidentally, is little ticks in the boxes there on the left hand side. If you don't want it to go through and check it, then you can take the tick out the box. So very quickly going through, it's just telling me it's analysing the drive to see how much. 94%, 95, 96. That's finished. Fragmented 0%. That's good, which is good. Defrag and optimize slower. Do that once a week. Quick defrag yeah, just jump straight in without analyzing. The settings, program settings, a cluster map, which is what you see here. The scheduler, you can actually schedule the program to defrag every now and again. Advanced, optimize PC with oscillogics and boost speed. These are the programs originally I didn't really want it to add on. You can always go back and get them anyway if you decide you want them and you like them. Check all, uncheck all, invert checkboxes, blah blah blah. Here we go. And of course the SSD optimization at the bottom there. It's well worth reading if you have an SSD drive. I don't have one, as you can see. No SSDs, but it's well worth mentioning the fact that they need special treatment, and of course a help file there. If we have a look down the C files, that gives us a list of all the files on C. Volume information, volume C, it's 828 gigabytes free after 930.55. It's a standard disk, blah blah blah. It's all normal, but it gives you the information about the drive if you want it. How many clusters, how many bytes, how many sectors, and all the rest of it that you need to know. Who knows, you might need to know some of that. Smart drive. Now SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, relevance, and time. Timely device is just a way of sort of saying what the particular drive does. Lots of information about it there in the scroll down menu at the bottom. And system health, it will take but a moment to work that out. Yeah, so it has a total of 49,567 tweaks detected. You can improve the performance with one of their own programs, which I shan't install. It doesn't actually tell me about the health. It tells me that they want to sell me some more products, so take that with a pinch of salt. So there we have it. It's oscillogics, AUS Logics disk defragging program. As you can see, it's tidied the drive up considerably when we first saw it, and it's got to be good. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and that if you're on YouTube, you will subscribe to my channel. I need subscriptions. I need people to follow me. I need people to press that thumbs up button down the bottom and make sure that we can carry on doing these type of demonstrations. Thank you very much for watching, all the same, and I'll give you the information about this program in the text that follows this. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.